सनातनाय सूक्ष्माय सुगुणाय सुशान्ताय सम्पूर्णाय सुशीलाय श्रीनिवासाय ते नमः. Today we are in the final sloka of Sri Venkatesha Suprabhatam. As we all know, there are 4 parts to the Suprabhatam, totaling to 70 slokas. The first part of the Venkatesha Suprabhatam is called as Sri Venkatesha Suprabhatam itself. So we are concluding that today with the blessings of Bhagavan. So Puratasi is supposed to be a very auspicious month for Bhagavan Sri Srinivasa, and it's a blessing for us to have learned the Suprabhatam, and the concluding day is on the actual completion day of the Puratasi Masam. I'll summarize this entire Suprabhatam into 4 key points for our ease of remembrance. There might be a lot of other subtle points we've spoken, but 4 key points. One is the great divinities visit Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara the first thing in the morning. Who all did we see? Acharyas, Sapta Rishaya. So the 7 rishis, including the Atri Maharishi, came there. Suryendu Bhauma Buddha. So all the 9 planets, the Navagrahas were there to worship Bhagavan. Deva Para Siva Suresha. So the 8 directions were there. And how did they come? Baddhanjali Pravilashan Nijashishal Deshaha. So they came with folded hands. And we learned the concept of Pradakshina there. In the meantime, there were these parrots. The parrots actually learned from the divinities, transferred the knowledge to us. So the parrots were here, the symbolic understanding of the Acharyas connecting Bhagavan to the Bhaktas. Garuda, Adisesha, everybody were worshipping Bhagavan. All the Vahanas of Bhagavan was there, and they were requesting Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan, enhance our potential so that we can serve you better. So in order to serve Bhagavan, they requested Bhagavan to give them more potential. Sri Vaishnava Shikhamanayaha. The well-versed scholars, the people who had well-versed in the Vedantas were all there. They brought the flowers from the Akasha Ganga. All the divinities were having the Mangala Vastus in the hands. In the meantime, nature was conducive to all this worship. Lotuses were blooming. The sun started to rise. The bees were making the humming sound. The sound of it sounded like the Pranavakara itself. The sound of the bees was construed as the Pranava. In the midst of this, the churning of the buttermilk from which the curd was offered to Bhagavan. It is like cleansing ourselves, offering our best to Bhagavan. The chirping of the birds were there, which we compare to the Veda Goshas of all the devotees that was happening there. When we think of the Veda Goshas, the Ananta Charitra was sung by Narada Maharishi. So Narada Maharishi was there singing. Brihaspati, the gods of the Devas, was there reading the Panchangam. There was absolute divine fragrance in the ambience. Everybody was there to offer their best to Bhagavan. All the groups together now recite Sri Venkatachalapate Tava Suprabhatam, Sheshadri Shekhara Vibho Tava Suprabhatam, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. All that was happening. Imagine the scale, imagine the magnificence that was happening there. It was at a cosmic level where all the divinities from different lokas assemble in the Tirumala to offer their namaskaras to Bhagavan. So this was happening on one side. On the other side, what we can understand is Bhagavan is the Paratva. He is the ultimate Bhagavan. His sovereignty is seen throughout the Suprabhata. The greatness of Bhagavan's abode, the 7 hills that were mentioned. In fact, 15 sloka gives 6 out of the 7 hills. The names of that is mentioned. Bhagavan, Sri Srinivasa is mentioned as Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. He is the Lord of all the Akhilandas, the Brahmandas. He is the Lord. This sthotra, Venkatadri Samamsthanam Brahmande Nasti Kinchana, Venkatesha Samodevo Na Bhuto Na Bhavishyati. In this entire Brahmanda, in this universe, there is no place which is more sacred or equivalent to the Venkadadri, Tirumala. There is no Bhagavan who is equivalent to Lord Venkatesha. He has never been there in the past, can never be there in the future, is the translation of this sloka. So with so much of humility, people come there to offer their namaskaras. So this is the first point. The second point, in many slokas across Suprabhata, the qualities of Bhagavan are mentioned. So starting from the fourth sloka, Tava Suprabhatam Aravinda Lochane, there, Dayanide, Bhagavan's quality of Daya, he is the treasure of Daya, is mentioned. Shri Bhuminayaka, so Bhagavan, who is the consort of Bhuma Devi, is again mentioned as Dayadi Gunamritabde. You are an ocean of Daya Ityadi Gunas. Daya is a sample, the best of your qualities, which is useful for us, but you are an ocean of all these qualities with Daya. Daya is a sample of all this. Dayadi Guna. So Bhagavan, this Daya is going to help us cross this samsara sagara. Shri Padmanabha Purushottama, there again, Sharanagata Parijata, the one who gives everything to those who surrender to you. You are like a Parijata. Whatever is our desire, you grant us there. Oh, Shri Padmanabha, it said. In the penultimate sloka, Lakshmi Nivasa, it is mentioned that Niravadya Gunaika Sindho. You are a ocean of all the auspicious qualities with absolutely no negative there. More importantly, you are a Bhakta Bhogya. You want us to enjoy you. So give us that capacity to understand your gunas, oh Bhagavan. So Bhagavan's quality of Daya is mentioned across the Suprabhatam, we can see. So what kind of gunas are mentioned? Daya is mentioned. With that quality, he is willing to help us out. Basvanudeti vikachani saroruhani, there, Dama Shrayanti. All these great people come and take their refuge, not only to you, even to your Dama. To your abode, people take refuge. Your abode itself is a refuge, oh Bhagavan, it is said. Dama Shrayanti Tava Venkata Suprabhatam. So they come and they take the refuge in your 7 hills, oh Bhagavan. Again, Sharanagata Parijata shows the willingness of Bhagavan to help us. So we have to surrender to Bhagavan, is explicitly mentioned in the Suprabhata. In fact, Bhagavan's beautiful posture, one hand showing his feet, says that surrender to me, my feet are here. That is your way to get rid of all the samsara sagara, to cross all this ocean of samsara sagara. Here is my feet. Bhagavan depicts that with the mudra. And he also shows the result of that. He says, I will help you reduce the samsara sagara way below your knee so that it is easy for you to cross and come over. Samuddaraneka Seto, he is the Seto who is going to help us cross this samsara sagara. So his pose beautifully depicts that. What are all of us here for? We want to be of eternal service to Bhagavan, just like how the Garuda, the Ananta, all the other Brahmadi Devas, everybody there come and they say, hey Bhagavan, let us offer the service to you. The best of the things are brought for Bhagavan, right? Even the water from the Akasha Ganga, the divine Akasha Ganga water is brought in golden pots and they all hold it on their head. So much of importance is given to what is offered to Bhagavan. So if we want to surrender ourselves to Bhagavan, it is very important to keep enhancing our Atma Gunas. So we have to enhance ourselves so that we are eligible to serve Bhagavan. So here the Suprabhatam, basically waking up Bhagavan, is also waking up ourselves from the ignorance, requesting Bhagavan, hey, from the andhakara, from the darkness, help me come to the light. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, we say, from darkness, bring me to light, for Bhagavan. So the Suprabhatam, which we sing early in the morning, is actually requesting Bhagavan to help us see the light. The light is Bhagavan, right? Bhagavan is Koti Surya Samaprabha. So Bhagavan, help me see the light. remove all the darkness, remove my ahankara, mamakara, all the negative qualities that I have, so that I become eligible to serve you. Help me enhance my Atma Gunas, and I want to be of eternal service to you, O Bhagavan, which is possible only if I get moksha. And in order to get moksha, you have to help me out. Your feet are my only way to reach you, O Bhagavan. So, along with Mata Mahalakshmi, accept my surrender, make me eligible to surrender to you, accept my surrender, and accept all the kainkaryas that I do for you here and in the ultimate abode of Paramapada. So that is what we've seen throughout the Suprabhatam till now. So with this in mind, the Phala Stuti is very much in line with this thought process. Ittam Vrishachalapateriha Suprabhatam. Ittam, this Suprabhatam, Vrishachalapateriha, iha in Tirumala or in this world, Vrishachala, Dharmaraja, did a penance in this hill. And he became the god of death. He was blessed with the status of god of death. We saw this when we learned the fourth sloka. The third and the fourth sloka was about awakening Mata Mahalakshmi. So the fourth sloka read, Tava Suprabhatam Aravinda Lochane Bhavatu Prasanna Mukachandra Mandale Vidishankarendra Vanita Virachite Vrusha Shaila Natha Dhaite Dayanide. So there we learnt about Vrusha Shaila Natha, Bhagavan, who was the Natha, the lord of the Vrusha Shaila. So the fourth sloka, even before starting to awaken Bhagavan Sri Venkateshwara, Vrusha Shaila was brought in because Mata Mahalakshmi is his Dharma Patni. To do any Dharma Karya, the Patni has to be right beside. Saha Dharmacharini is Mata, so she was awakened and then Bhagavan was awakened. Now we are in the concluding sloka. In the penultimate sloka, Lakshmi Nivasa was brought in, right? So Bhagavan along with Mata was mentioned in the sloka just before this. So in this sloka he says, Vrishachala Pate, which means you have to do your dharma. So Mata is there, she is ready. You've woken up, you opened your eyes. So here is our pranams to both of you, who is the leader of the Vrishachala hill. So the hill itself is known for dharma. And you are the Prabhu of that dharma. Dharmasya Prabhu Achyutaha. So Bhagavan is the head of all the dharmas, including the Dharma Devata. Vrisha means dharma. So Bhagavan is the leader of dharma. So here we see Ittam Vrishachalapater Iha Suprabhatam. This Suprabhatam, E Manavaha Pratidinam Patitum Pravrittaha. People who get into the practice of reciting this every day, who practice reciting this Suprabhata every day, Tesham Prabhata Samaye Smritiranga Bhajam. Prabhata Samaye, in the dawn. Smriti is remembrance. Anga Bhajam. Anga Bhajam is people who have this body, basically here meaning the devotees. So remembrance of the devotees in the dawn. All these people in Tirumala are now reciting the Suprabhata to Bhagavan. If we remember that in the early morning, Tesham Prabhata Samaye Smritiranga Bhajam Prajnam Parartha Sulabham Paramam Prasute. This Parajnana, which is required to attain Bhagavan, will be given to them easily. Parartha Sulabham. Parartha would mean the thing which is beyond the world, beyond all the materialistic things, which is Bhagavan. Parartha Sulabham, we can earn it easily. So, Paramam, that Parajnana, which will help us achieve Bhagavan easily, will be bestowed on us. So, the overall meaning for this would be that anybody who recites or remembers those who recite the Suprabhatam in Tirumala early in the morning, they will be blessed with the Parajnana, which is required for us to reach Bhagavan easily. In fact, Acharyas interpret it in many different ways. One is, if people recite the Suprabhata with utmost concentration, dedicating it to Bhagavan, they will be granted the bhakti or the prapakti required in order to get moksha, where they can always serve Bhagavan. If we are not able to be in Tirumala, if we are not able to recite it in Tirumala, we can recite it wherever we are, but we can still think of those who recite the Suprabhatam in Tirumala. Everything is so vividly explained, right? The ambience, who all are there, what kind of mindset they are there with. So when we visualize all this and think, oh my God, now Suprabhata Seva will be happening in Tirumala early in the morning, even if we think of those people, we will be given that bhakti, that prapakti, which is required, which will help us get moksha access. The third thing is, those people who are reciting the Suprabhata in Tirumala, if they think of others, even all those people who are taught by them, let me think about these devotees who are not able to get an opportunity to be in Tirumala. So if those reciting this in Tirumala remember others, even those others will get the bhakti and prapakti. So think of all those who are reciting it in Tirumala. So that kind of a rare knowledge, which is difficult for people to achieve, will be given very easily if we get into the practice of remembering those who recite the Suprabhata. So that is the greatness of this Venkatesha Suprabhata. Itham vrishachalatapteriha suprabhatam ye manava pratidinam pathitum pravrittaha tesham prabhata samaye smritiranga bhajam prajnam parata sulabham paramam prasute. So this basically brings us to the conclusion of the 29 slokas, which is the Venkatesha Suprabhata, the first part of the Venkatesha Suprabhata. There are 4 parts in the Suprabhata. The first part is Suprabhatam, followed by the Stotram, followed by the Prapakti, and then the Mangalasasanam. We've now completed the Suprabhatam part in the entire Venkatesha Suprabhatam. This has happened only because of the divine Karuna Kataksha of Bhagavan, of Mata Mahalakshmi, of all the Acharyas. Lakshmi Natha Samarambam, Natha Yamuna Madhyamam, Asmad Acharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Let us offer our namaskaras to Bhagavan, to Mata, to all the Acharyas who has given us this great Anubhava. Very importantly, to Prativadi Bhayankaram Annan Swami, who gave us this entire Suprabhatam. He has felt every single thing that happens there. Think of his visualization. Think of all the dhyana. His tapasya is the tapasya has given us this entire Suprabhatam as a result, right? And what about the commentators? So many people have written wonderful vyakhyanas to everything that is mentioned in the Suprabhata. So many people have great upanyasams. People have given upanyasams in which they dwell on even a single word mentioned in the Suprabhatam for hours together. There are books, the e-books, so many websites which have been great resources for us to enjoy the anubhavas of Bhagavan. So at this point, let us thank everybody who's helped us in this journey of this entire Venkatesha Suprabhatam. Sri Padmavati Tayar Sameda, Sri Srinivasa Parabrahmane Namaha. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैव बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रहृदे स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि.